This just in, the ATF agent from last week's news story is still trying to clear a logjam. A Nashville woman negligently unalives her daughter and is now begging for your hard-earned cash. Let's look at what all went wrong after this news story.
Police are investigating an accidental shooting that killed a 13-year-old girl. Police say the teen was shot inside her home after her mother accidentally fired a pistol. Her mom told police her unholstered gun was in her purse and it went off when she was trying to get her keys out of that bag. Officers say the 13-year-old was taken to the hospital where she died of her injuries.
As a 7th grader, Deria Radley should have been walking through the doors of J.T. Moore Middle School this morning. Instead, her funeral is being planned.
My world is just falling apart. I love that little girl so much.
It was right here in their apartment on Edge Hill Avenue where Deanne Radley says she was searching in her purse for her keys. That's when the pistol that she carries in her bag went off, killing her 13-year-old daughter.
I didn't know my gun was loaded in my purse and it shot through my bag.
Holy negligence, Batman. She says she didn't even know it was loaded. As a responsible gun owner, you are absolutely in charge of whether that gun is loaded or not. This needs to be something you know, no matter where you're storing it. I know in my big storage safe, if I have a firearm in there, the big storage safe, those are all absolutely unloaded. I know that I can pull one of those out and it won't be loaded because I will always check it before and after. If it goes in the safe, it's unloaded. If it comes out, I double check it. When I've got a few little decentralized firearms and they're in lock boxes. I've got one in a hallway and one in another place of the house so that they're decentralized. Those that are in those lock boxes, those are meant for self-defense, and I understand that there is one in the chamber and it is hot and ready to go. This one being in her purse was absolutely, there is a full need to know the state of that firearm, whether it has one in the pipe or not.
I see the blood and I called them ambulance and my baby.
Deanne says she did CPR on her daughter until the ambulance arrived, but it was too late.
Later on, they told me that they wasn't able to save her.
Police say the teen died from that single accidental gunshot. Police have not filed any charges, but they say the Youth Services Division is still investigating. In Edge Hill, Dryden Quigley, WSMV4.
So now the mother has started a GoFundMe with a huge half-truth. So here we have it, Deria Radley. I hope I'm not saying that incorrectly. I think I'm right. But they've raised, at this point, it'll probably go up $6,218 of their $15,000 goal. There are 123 donations. What is bad about this is, hi, my name is Deanne. I'm the mother of Deria. I'm needing help for her funeral. My 13-year-old was accidentally shot and killed. Yes, by you. There is a massive half-truth there. 123 people so far have donated, and they probably would still donate if they knew the whole truth, because they're just trying to be nice. You know, this thing, it didn't need to happen, and there's a mother grieving the death of her daughter. So maybe they'd still be doing the thing, but the mother is absolutely in the wrong by this half-truth.
I didn't know my gun was loaded in my purse and it shot through my bag.
If anyone can help me during these painful times, I would gladly appreciate your contribution. God bless you. So what all had to go wrong for that woman to unalive her daughter? Well, first and foremost, you can see this thing is in a holster. My trigger guard is covered on both sides. There is no way that I can get in there and pull that trigger. So it was stated that her gun was not into a holster. So let's go ahead and just pull it out. Now you can see our trigger. Now these guns have got this little dongle here. This dongle is an added safety measure, but I'm going to show you it is easily defeated with a key fob. This is a key fob to a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, used by multiple vehicles over lots of years. So she's digging in her purse for her keys, and simply enough, you just heard that thing go click. That had enough to actually go in there, push the dongle, and close the trigger, and let the firing pin go forward. That was all it took. So let's say it wasn't the key fob. I don't know. Maybe she had some kind of little pocket knife or something. This right here, I EDC this. This is from Millspin. It's just a really cool little razor knife. I've been wearing this thing since a buddy of mine gave it to me for Christmas last year. But let's just think, what if this thing was in the purse? She can simply enough get in there and boom, just digging around. It just fired the gun, unalived the daughter. Let's say, I don't know, a lipstick tube or a pill bottle or anything, man. All you got to do is that. Simply enough. She didn't have to have an extravagant holster like this Works holster. These Works holsters are like $115, and they work with any firearm that accepts the TLR-1HL, and I really like this one. This one's my bump in the night gun. I've got this thing set up just the way I like it. It is in a lockbox on my nightstand. I've got some excess sights, big dots. I really like that front sight. It really draws my eyes to it. And this thing was actually bright enough the other night, those night sights with this thing, I had it laying on the nightstand rather than in the lockbox. But it was on the nightstand and I saw that glowing and I said, what is charging? I thought it might have been my cell phone or something charging and actually showing some light. So yeah, very cool setup. So simply enough, this is how that woman allowed the anti-gunners to have yet another statistic to work against us responsible gun owners. And I've spoken to some people that say, well, a safety is all you need. No, a safety is not all you need. Let's look at the definition of a safety. What is a safety on a firearm? A safety is a device that blocks the action to prevent the firearm from shooting until the safety is released or pushed to the off position. Now, I have experienced this firsthand. I'm going to go ahead and throw another little snippet at you and tell you how I've seen it. The safety is intended to prevent the firearm from being fired accidentally. However, safeties should never be relied on to totally protect against accidental shooting. So how do I know this? I was at a little gathering of friends and there was an acquaintance there and he was very proud of his Sky pistol, the SCCY. Relatively inexpensive, you know, I mean, the guys that own them, they're probably mad at me right now, but they are a relatively inexpensive firearm. But this acquaintance, he hands me this little Sky. I want to say it was like a CPX or something like that, CPX2. He hands me this Sky. And he had already loaded the mag, put a mag in, dropped the slide, and it was hot. It was ready to go. But what I didn't realize, you know, there's no safety on this PDP, but there is a safety right there on that little Sky. And I just pulled the trigger, just started shooting. Just bang, 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 right? Well, anyway, after I looked, I noticed that the safety was actually engaged. That safety was on, and I'm still pulling the trigger and sending lead. Just me being unfamiliar with that gun, I hadn't wiped that safety off. And I told him, I said, Bubba, you might want to get that firearm checked out. But now, speaking of negligent discharges in Tennessee, I was reading about a man at a Lenoir City, Tennessee graduation, and he shot himself in the femoral with a Derringer. Now, these little Derringers, they don't really make a holster for them because these Derringers kind of have their own little safeties in them, right? So you have a half cock. You have an actual crossbar safety so that you can't actually pull the thing. And even if it is all the way back, let me double check, make sure this thing is unloaded. Yep, she is unloaded. Let's lock this thing back in. So even if it is off safe, that trigger pull is like 54 freaking pounds. This dude indeed himself in the femoral and was bleeding out. While he was bleeding out, they were trying to save him, trying to bring him back. They ran him to the hospital. The local police said, well, if he doesn't die, we're going to press charges. And he was going to be charged for carrying a gun to a high school graduation, and we all know that schools are gun-free zones. So for Christ's sake, guys, get a holster. It literally, you don't have to spend $110. This one says $21.99. And this thing right here from Trigger Safe, they actually put this in a swag bag when I went to an event, and I don't know if it'll fit this PDP, but they put it in a swag bag when I went to an event, and I think it would actually work if that light wasn't on there. But even this little thing, it's like 16 bucks. They make them for Glocks, they make them for ARs, they make them for all sorts of stuff. So for $16, you don't have to spend 15 grand burying somebody. You don't have to lose your own freedom.
We also want to let you know that you can get a free gun lock from the state by going to any THP or Metro Nashville Police Department location. But
anyway, y'all continue this conversation in the comment section. I absolutely love it. Last video got 4,500 comments having a conversation about the ATF killing Brian Malinowski. So let's go ahead and do that again in this one. Y'all have a wonderful day. We'll see you next video. I love you.